Welcome to the QQEvolution training class on how to create and edit reports in QQEvolution. From the dashboard, click on the report drawer on the left-hand side of the screen to access the Standard Reports section. And once you're in the Standard Reports section, you'll notice that we have quite a few standard reports that have already been created for you and are ready to run at any point in time. In the Financial Report section, we have quite a few reports that you can pull regarding money being taken or posted within QQEvolution. Now, the first report that we're going to look at is the daily closeout report. Now, this will display all payments broken down by payment type for a specific period of time. So if you look on the right hand side of the screen, you'll notice we have an additional option here where you can select your predefined dates. You can choose if you're an agency that has multiple agencies running QQEvolution, you can choose which information to include for which agency. You can also, again, choose your predefined dates, whether you want to pull this on a monthly basis, maybe on a weekly basis. If you choose specific dates, for example, you can enter your own dates that you would like to view this information. All dates will give you a very large span of time from 1980 to 2017. You can choose to group this report either by agency, by CSR, or by the insured name. We can also include or select specific billing descriptions that you would like to pull or to see on this particular report. So if you're not necessarily interested in pulling a report on all the billing descriptions that are listed here in this drop-down list, you can be selective and just choose a handful that you need. Otherwise, just leave it at all, and all the billing types will be pulled onto a report. Once you click on Run, the system will then compile together based on how you have selected or the dates that you've selected to see on this report the information pertaining to payments posted within QQEvolution. On the lower right, you'll see the number of pages that are included. And then on the lower left, you can choose to flip through each page one at a time, or if you choose this option here, you can go right to the end of the page where it gives you a total amount and also a breakdown by payment type. Another report that we are going to review is the sales report within the financial section or the financial report section. The sales report will give you a report on all new business policies that were written for a specific period of time. It does pull active policies only, so if your policies are in there still on, let's say, a pending basis, or maybe they're in there as being canceled or expired, that information will not pull onto this report. If you look on the right hand side, we can choose again which agency to pull this report on, which sales report dates we want to see. So if we wanted to pull any sales information, new business policy information for the last year, we can choose that option as well. Again, we can group this by insurance carrier, by the agency, by the line of business, or by the effective date also. You can choose to either pull the report by binder date or by effective date, and you can choose whether or not to have agency commissions information listed or included on that policy, on that report as well. Once you're done making your selection, you're going to click on Run Report. So this will give you an idea of all the new business policies that were written for the period of time. Now on the very top right of your report, it does give you those defined dates that you, or predefined dates that you selected. Now all of the reports, or the majority of reports within QQEvolution, you do have the option to print them. So if you look on the toolbar on the left hand side, we can print this report, but we can also export this to an Excel spreadsheet as well. Moving on to our next section, which is the company reports section. We're going to look at a few reports here that can be pulled by carrier, or information specific to a carrier. The first report that we're going to look at is the company report. Now we also have a report on claims, so if you wanted to see a report on all claims that have been entered and created within QQ Catalyst for your customers, you can do that as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be on an active claim, it could be on a closed claim. The options on the right hand side will allow you to choose specific filters that will narrow down your search on your claims also. Now the company report, this type of report will give you a breakdown by company of all business performed for a specific date range. Now this particular report differs from the sales report in that it also includes policies that are expired and also that have been in, or that are in canceled status. So it'll give you that information on canceled policy as far as any earned premiums or earned commissions. On the right, you're going to choose your predefined dates that you would like to view this report for. So if we wanted to view the report for, let's say, year to date, just choose that. So this is my information that now I can view by carrier name. Now at the very beginning of this training video, we did mention that there are some reports that can be customized and some reports cannot. Most of the reports within the financial reports section are not going to be able to be customized. We do have reports that can be customized. Now if you look on the right hand side underneath your report templates, whenever you highlight a report that is eligible or that you are able to customize, you can go ahead and click on the option on the right hand side to customize this report. Once you do that and confirm that that's exactly what you want to do, what the system does is bring you into the report builder section where you can customize these fields. So if you wanted to go into filters on the company report and let's say pull this report by a specific company, you can do that, or by a specific line of business, or maybe you wanted to include the line of business on this policy. So you can then run the report directly from Report Builder and view those changes. So now we have the line of business here on the left hand side that's also included within this report. Now it does not change the standard report that's located in QQ Catalyst. This creates a new template of your own. Now if you wanted to save this template, you can simply click on the templates option on the toolbar, click on save, name your template, and click on OK. Now if your agency, if you have multiple agencies, you can either include this or add this template report for all of your agencies, or select the specific agency filter. Once you select OK, we're going to go back into the reports section, and you can see our report will be listed in the report template section in alphabetical order. Another report that we're going to look at in the company reports section is the cross-selling report. This report is used to market new lines of business to your existing customers, or market to also prospects that have been added into your QQEvolution database. Now to run this report, you're simply going to highlight the report. Now if you notice right above, right in the customized template section, we do not have this option, so you cannot change any information. You cannot customize this report yourself. You can only run this report. So we're going to click on Open to run the report. Now on the very top, in the very top left hand side, you can choose to run this report for customers or prospects that have maybe a specific carrier and maybe that do not have a policy or line of business with another carrier. On the left hand side, you're always going to choose the line of business that the customer has. And on the right hand side, you're going to choose the line of business that the customer may not have or does not have with your agency. So in this case, we're going to say, actually, let's scroll a little bit further down and let's choose homeowners as a line of business that the customer has, but maybe you want to identify the customers that do not have flood insurance. So we're going to choose that. We can then choose or select how we want to search for these customers. Is it by their expiration date on their policy or maybe the effective date on their policy? On the right hand side in the predefined section, you want to make sure that you select your predefined dates. So this could be done monthly, this can be done year to date. This can be done with customers that have the expiration date for today's date. So let's say this month, and we're going to click on OK. So now this is a report that will tell me all the customers that have policies that expire within the month of June that do not have a flood policy. Now it doesn't mean that they don't have a flood policy at all. It just means that within your agency they do not have a flood policy. Now again, I can choose to export this information to an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. Moving on to our next section, which is the client reports. These are all reports that can be pulled for clients. We have clients by X dates, so if you're setting X dates on your client screens for your customers or prospects, you can go ahead and pull this information onto a report so you can see which customers have X dates that are coming up. We have a renewal report, which will display all policies that are coming up for renewal. Once you select that option, if you notice on the lower right, we have a status option as well. So if you want to include in that renewal report policies that renewed only, or policies that didn't renew, that are going to expire and didn't renew, then you can go ahead and make those selection. Otherwise, the report will be, if you leave it at all, inclusive regardless of whether the policy renewed or not. Below the client's report section, we also have the reconciliation section. Now this is where your commissions are reconciled for both the agency and the producer. We have the billing reconciliation, which will allow you to view any outstanding debits or credits on a customer account that you need to reconcile, as well as printing a report on any active memos for your agency. The next area that we're going to review is the Report Builder tab. If you require more detailed information in your reports, you can build a custom report within the Report Builder tab. The first area that we're going to look at in this section is the wizard, which will take you step by step and explain how to set up your own custom report. The tabs at the very top of this pop-up window will prompt you to select certain filters or fields that will be included in your report. The first tab that you're going to select allows you to choose the date type and choose your predefined dates. So depending on what type of report you are going to pull, you're going to select your date type. The next tab over is choosing filters that will appear within your report. Now, filters will also help you narrow down the information that gets pulled onto your report. So if you needed to pull a report by a specific agent, we have that information, that specific filter, maybe by a specific zip code or a company or a coverage type or a line of business. These are all filters that can be pulled and customized onto your report. We have specific fields that will create columns within your report with this information. So if you wanted a column with the policy number, you can select that information. Maybe you wanted to include commissions, or maybe you wanted to include quoted premiums as well as base premium. These are all fields within your report that can be added as a custom field. Within the wizard, you have the next tab over, which allows you to select the page layout. If you prefer portrait or landscape, you can make that choice here. You can also choose how your report is going to be sorted. So by default, it's going to sort your report alphabetically, but then we can change that to sort it maybe by agent or by company. Your last step is to name your report and save it as a template report. If you prefer using the report builder tabs so if I wanted to pull a birthday report, I can customize my fields, or I can choose the fields to customize a report to pull specific information for customers within my database that have a birth date that have a birthday that fall within a specific month. So by choosing my date type in this section, I'm going to look through my drop-down list to see which date type is appropriate for my birthday report, and in this case it would be the birth date, so it pulls the insured's birth date onto this report. I can also be as selective as to say maybe only personal lines customers or commercial lines, or leave it at all. I can choose only active customers that are in my system, as well as customers with active policies. In my filters, I can be even more selective and say maybe by birthdays, customers that have birthdays that fall within a specific month, for a specific agent within my agency, that have a specific carrier. Also, if I have multiple carriers that need to be pulled onto the report, I can check the box. I can click on the box to the left of that field and choose up to 5 options or 5 carriers, I should say, to include onto this report. The same with the billing descriptions. If I have a report that I need to create or customize, I can choose up to 5 specific billing descriptions to include on this report. So anytime within QQEvolution that you have a report or a section that holds these type of boxes within their fields, you can click on that and choose up to 5 options. My fields also will allow me to select specific information to be pulled onto this report from the customer's account. So if I wanted to pull, let's say, the address onto my customer's account, or maybe their email address, and maybe the spouse's name if it's included in their account, I can do that. Now in report time, when you're pulling a birthday report, you want to make sure that you choose the correct month. So we're going to go ahead and select just a random month, and then we're going to go ahead and click on Run. So now I can see that this is my birthday report, and these are all the customers that have birthdays within the month of November. Now on the top right, we have the fields the fields or choices that we chose to be to pull this report. So I can see I'm pulling for the birth date of November on active customers with active policies, and I'm excluding any endorsements onto this report. If it's a birthday report, you really don't need to know if there's any endorsements in that policy or within that account. Now if I wanted to change the orientation of the paper, I can also change that from portrait to landscape. rerun the report, and now as you can see, it's in landscape. If I needed to resize the columns, I have that option as well. On the toolbar, I have the option to resize the columns and the fonts. So if you have a report where the columns just don't look right to you, you can go ahead and resize that information right in this section. Now you can decrease the font size maybe by 1. It makes it a little bit smaller. So if you have a large report, by reducing the font size, it shrinks it a little bit further. You can preview your report as well. Okay. Now if I needed to export this to Excel, I have that option as well on the toolbar. So once you've created your report, you also have the option to save it as a template report. Now, template reports can be run over and over again, and you can also go back at any point in time and edit the fields that you've chosen. So on the top toolbar, you have the option here for templates, which allows me to save this current template. If I needed to also see any templates that or edit any templates that I've created, I can click on Open to do that, and we'll cover that in just a moment. To save this information, you're simply going to save, and you're going to run the birthday, and you're going to name the birthday report to this template. Now, if you have multiple agencies running QQEvolution, you can assign it to one agency, this particular report to one agency specifically, or you can choose all and make it available for all of your agencies to run. I'm going to click on OK. Now, to access your template reports, you're going to go back to the Reports tab, and on the right-hand side, you're going to see the template section. So this will store all the reports that all the template reports that you've created. So if I needed to rerun a report on here, I can just simply select it and click on Run. That's located at the bottom. And I can even choose the month that I want to run this in. So if I needed to see if there are any birthdays in the month of December, I can go ahead and do that. And it will give you that information. If I needed to edit any information that I've created or saved on a template report, what I can do is go back to Report Builder, click on Templates, and open up that template in here. So if I want to go into the client billing report, I'm going to highlight it and select it. So now it pops up with my predefined dates to choose, but since I'm editing the information, I don't necessarily have to run it. So I'm going to select Cancel. Now these particular date types and fields that you see here are specific to this particular report. And if you look on the top left, it will always show you the name of the report. So you're in the custom client billing report that we've created. So if I needed to change this information at any point in time, maybe I needed to add some additional filters, maybe I just wanted to add it or create it for a different company, we can go ahead and select that. Now, if I need to save this information, I'm simply going to go back to Template and click on Save. So now I'm saving this report to only pull whenever I pull it, unless I change it again for this company, for these companies. I'll go ahead and click on Run. It's telling me that the column widths for this report need to be adjusted. So at this point, I can do it here at this time, or I can just simply bypass this section and export it directly to Excel. On the lower left, you have that option, or just click on Run. And so now this is the new information that gets saved into my template report. The last area that we're going to cover in today's training class is scheduling reports. Now, with the Gold and Platinum subscription package, you do have the ability to schedule your reports. So if you notice on the lower right hand side, you have the option to schedule your reports. Now, you can schedule reports on some of the standard reports that are listed here. So if you notice, I can highlight that, and that scheduled option is available. But if I come into commission reconciliation, that scheduled option disappears. There are some reports that cannot be scheduled to be run automatically. Your template reports can all be scheduled to run automatically at a certain time. Now keep in mind that only the Gold and Platinum package will have this availability. The administrator in your office will need to be logged in, even though the report is scheduled to run automatically at a certain date or time. If the admin is not logged in, it will not run until that administrator does log in. Now, to schedule a report, you're simply going to highlight the report that you want to schedule, and you're going to click on this option here on the lower right. You have two steps in this process. One is the options, and the other is reoccurrence. Now, the first one is to make sure the display name is correct. That's coming over. If you need to change the display name, you can change it right in this section. Your next step is to select the output options. You can either have this emailed automatically to a specific email address every time it runs, or you can have it saved to a folder within your computer. Now, you can also do both. So if you want the email to be sent out as well as having it saved automatically into a folder of your choice within your computer, you can do that as well. You're going to type in, if you choose email, you're just going to type in the email address that it needs to be sent to, and then you're going to click on Next to select how many times or how often you want this type of report to pull. So you're going to choose the time and the start date, and you're going to choose whether it's going to be daily, weekly, monthly. So as you make your selection, your choices will change here on the right hand side. So if I'm running this monthly, when does this need to be pulled? Is it the first day? Is it the last day? Or do you want it on a specific date, maybe on the 10th of every month? You can pull also every year a report, or have it scheduled to be automatically generated every year. So in this case, let's say it's monthly. You can choose your recurrence length, whether it needs to end after so many times that it runs, or if there's a specific date that you would like this report to stop running automatically. If there is no end date, just simply click on this option, No End Date, and select Finish to save that information. Now, once you confirm that, you'll be taken into the Scheduled Reports section right next to Report Builder. On the lower right, you will see all the reports that are scheduled. So as you highlight them, as well as here on the upper left hand side, so as you highlight the report, you'll be able to see the options that you have set up for that particular report. Now in this case, if I needed to change this from monthly to weekly and have it pulled every Friday, I can do so at this point in time. Once you make your changes, what you want to do is make sure you click on the Save Settings, so it saves your changes to this particular report that needs to be pulled automatically. That basically concludes our training class for today in the reports section of QQEvolution. Thank you.